When the Light Fades. A story told by Jake Harris, 38, Austin, Texas. I never thought I'd be the guy whose life fell apart in silence. You know those guys. The ones you read about in online confessionals or hear about over beers when someone gets too honest. The men who thought they had it all figured out. The house, the wife, the kid, the dog. And then one day, boom. The foundation they built everything on starts to crack. Not with an explosion, but with a slow, agonizing fracture. One that you don't even see until it's already spread through every wall. My name's Jake Harris. I'm 38 years old. I live in Austin, Texas. Or I used to. I guess I'm still here, physically. But the version of me that existed a few years ago, the husband, the loyal partner, the guy who believed that effort and kindness were enough, he's gone. And in his place is someone different, maybe wiser, definitely more cautious, a man who's looked betrayal in the face and survived it. I met Mallory in college, University of Texas, my sophomore year. She was majoring in design, creative, vibrant, always doodling in her sketchbook while the professor lectured. I was the quiet guy in the back row, hoodie, worn sneakers, studying computer engineering. I wasn't the type girls noticed, but Mallory did. She laughed at a stupid joke I made under my breath and turned around with this smile that hit me like a punch to the chest. She had these sharp hazel eyes, like she could read through your bullshit in 5 seconds flat, but somehow still chose to stay. That day, we shared coffee after class and talked until the campus lights blinked out around us. It wasn't one of those fireworks love stories. It was slower, deeper, like a fire that burns in the background, and suddenly you realize it's warmed everything. We dated through graduation. When I got a job offer from an IT firm downtown, we moved in together. Our first apartment was a shoebox with peeling paint and a leaking sink, but we were happy, genuinely happy. She painted a mural over the living room wall, something abstract with streaks of gold and blue. She made everything beautiful, even broken things, especially broken things. We got married in a small backyard ceremony, just a handful of friends and family. She wore a pale lavender dress and had daisies in her hair. I remember looking at her and thinking, I'll never need anything else. This is it. And for a long time, it was. We built a home, bought a fixer-upper in East Austin, got a rescue dog named Buster, and then came our daughter, Ellie. Ellie changed everything in the best way. I didn't know I could love anyone like that. Fiercely, protectively, hopelessly. Every sleepless night, every diaper, every ridiculous preschool play, I was there. And Mallory was there too, at first. She loved being a mom. She'd dance with Ellie in the kitchen, draw little animals on her lunch bags. We'd fall asleep with Ellie between us, her tiny hand on Mallory's cheek. It wasn't perfect. God knows we had our fights. Mallory hated how much I worked. I thought she spent too much on home decor, but we always came back to each other. That was our thing. No matter what, we returned. Until one day, she didn't. It started gradually. She got this big client, a guy named Andrew. I remember the way she said his name the first time, like it meant nothing. Andrew wants something more modern. He's picky. I didn't think twice. She'd worked with demanding clients before. But Andrew wasn't just demanding. He was persistent. He began texting her at night, sending her gift cards for inspiration, inviting her to design dinners where no one else from her firm showed up. I asked once, maybe half joking, "What? Is this guy in love with you or something?" She laughed it off. "Please, he's just a client, not even my type." I wanted to believe her. So I did. But the signs piled up. She started dressing up more, even when she said she was going to a dusty site visit. She wore perfume she hadn't touched in years. She became guarded with her phone. I told myself I was overthinking, that I was being possessive, that if I just gave her space, she'd come back. The hardest part wasn't the sex. I don't even know how many times she was with him, and honestly, it doesn't matter. What broke me wasn't her body, it was her distance, her absence, the way she stopped laughing at my jokes, the way she stopped waiting up for me, the way she looked at me one night as I kissed her cheek goodnight, like she was saying goodbye, and I didn't even realize. I tried to fix it. God, I tried. I bought flowers, planned a weekend getaway, offered to cut down on hours. She accepted the gestures with a smile, but it felt like trying to warm a corpse. Whatever we had, the thing I cherished, protected, built my life around, was already dying. Then came the night that finally shattered it all. I was coming back from a 3-day work trip to Dallas. We finished early, and I decided to surprise her. Bought her favorite bottle of red, grabbed pizza from the place she loved downtown, even put on the playlist we made when we were dating. I remember thinking, this will remind her. This will bring her back. The house was dark. Her car was gone. I figured maybe she'd taken Ellie to her mom's, but when I stepped inside, the first thing I noticed was that the air felt wrong. Not quiet, hollow, empty in a way I can't explain. Upstairs, our bedroom door was cracked open, and I heard it. Laughter, male, her voice, playful. Then silence, followed by soft whispers and, you just know. I walked in, and there they were. Her back to me. Him, shirtless, grinning like a man who knew he'd won. It wasn't just betrayal. It was confirmation. Like the final nail in a coffin I'd been building unknowingly for months. I didn't scream, didn't throw punches. I just stood there. I looked at her and waited for something. An apology, a flinch, a tear. But all she did was pull the blanket over herself and look away. That silence, it stayed with me. I drove around for hours, ended up at a gas station outside the city, slept in the car. The next morning, I called a lawyer. The divorce was cleaner than it had any right to be. She didn't fight for custody, said Ellie should stay in the environment she's used to. We split the assets. I gave her the guest car. She kept her business. I got the house, not because I wanted it, but because I didn't want to uproot Ellie more than necessary. Andrew disappeared shortly after. I wasn't surprised. Guys like that never stick around when real life shows up. Mallory didn't post about him, just quietly moved out of our lives. The year that followed was the hardest of my life. There were mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. Days I went to work on autopilot. Nights I sat in the living room, staring at the photos we hadn't taken down yet. But Ellie, She saved me. Her laugh, her stubbornness, her questions. I had to show up for her, even when I didn't want to show up for myself. I started therapy, started running, started cooking, learned how to braid hair and pick outfits for school. I became two parents instead of one. And somewhere in that chaos, I found pieces of myself I never knew were missing. People always ask me if I forgave Mallory. I don't think I did. Not fully, but I stopped hating her. Hate's just another way of holding on. I let go. I still believe in love. Not the fairy tale kind. The real kind. The kind that chooses you every day. Even when it's hard. Even when it's boring. Even when it's messy. One day, maybe I'll find that again. But until then, I'll keep walking. One step. One breath. One sunrise at a time. Because when the light fades, sometimes it's only to remind you how strong you are in the dark. If you found these stories interesting, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to not miss even more exciting stories. Don't forget to check out our other videos. Wishing you all the best and positivity.